This is the biology paper 1 for June 2023. We are going to look at all 60 questions. Candidates were expected to do this paper in an hour and 15 minutes. Do remember to subscribe to the channel as we get into question number 1. Which of the following organisms is used to classify a group of organisms as class Insecta? And that would be the number of segments. Which of the following options correctly identifies a niche and a habitat? So we are looking for both the correct definitions, and that would be A. Question 3. Living organisms, such as plants, are affected by abiotic factors which determine where they become established. Which of the following lists presents some of the determining factors? And you know we are looking for abiotic factors. And if we're talking about plants, the best answer would be sunlight availability, soil pH, and minerals. Question 4. Which of the following organisms are most important in biodegradation? And that would have to be bacteria. A. Question 5 refers to the following food chain, which shows the feeding relationship in a freshwater lake. We have algae, larvae, eel, and pike. Which of the organisms would be considered the secondary consumer in the food chain shown above? So algae is the producer, then we have the primary consumer, and eel being the secondary consumer, which makes the answer A. Question 6 refers to the following food web. How many food chains are there in the food web shown above? And you simply have to count them. That's 1, that's 2, and that is 3, making the answer for question 6 B. Item 7, approximately 10% of the energy stored in food is available to the next organism in the food chain because most of the energy is lost as heat during the process of respiration. The best answer would be A. Item 8 refers to the following diagram of a carbon cycle. Which of the following processes convert organic matter to inorganic forms? So we know that carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, CO2, is the inorganic form. Down here, they literally say it's organic. So we're looking for ones that are going up. We see 2 going up. We have Roman numeral 6 going up. So we're looking for 2 and 6, which makes the answer for number 8, C. Number 9, which of the following outcome conditions would be considered a negative impact? Negative impacts of human activity on the environment. Pollution, yes, that's negative. Habitat loss, negative. Climate change, negative. So we're looking for 1, 2, and 3. D. And we are on question 10. Which of the following effects of pollutants on coral reefs in the Caribbean? Less reef fish, more branching coral, increase in macroalgal and seagrass growth. Or more branching coral should not be happening, so we're looking for 1 and 3, which makes question 10 B. On to item 11, which refers to the following graph of population growth. And they're asking us about phase 4 of the graph of population growth is most likely due to, we have phase 4 where it decreases, and that decrease is from competition of invasive species. Question 12, when compared to a cheek cell, a muscle cell contains more mitochondria because a muscle cell is more active than a cheek cell. Item 13 refers to the following diagram of a cell. Which of the labeled structures is responsible for controlling cellular activities? 1 is a mitochondria, 2 is a chloroplast, 3 is the vacuole, and 4 is the nucleus. So we see the nucleus is the controlling organelle. Item 14 refers to the following diagram, which shows a xylem vessel. The major feature that is responsible for the rigid structure of the xylem vessel is the lignin, which is inside the cell wall. So 14, the answer is A. Item 15 refers to the following apparatus setup. What can be done to cause the level of solution in the Petri dish to rise after 20 minutes? And if we want to cause a rise in the solution, which is distilled water, we want more water to go into the Petri dish, leaving the potato. So if we are talking about the movement of water molecules, that is osmosis. So osmosis requires a gradient. So increasing the concentration of the water in the Petri dish by adding 5 grams of salt. That's how we increase the concentration. Item 16 refers to the following graph showing the rate of photosynthesis and light intensity. Which of the following statements best accounts for the shape of the graph? That's because as light intensity increases, the rate of photosynthesis increases until it can no more because it's limited by some other factor. So we are looking for a response that says that, and that would be C. Question 17. Which of the following features would not enhance a leaf's ability to absorb solar energy? And large surface area that increases efficiency of photosynthesis, transparent cuticle that improves it. Presence of a vascular bundle does not enhance. So C is the answer. Item 18 refers to the following diagram, which represents a metabolic process carried out in plants. And this process is photosynthesis, and the food that is produced is glucose. Item 19 refers to the following longitudinal section of a tooth. Which region of the tooth contains a large number of blood vessels and nerves? And that would be region 3, which corresponds to C. Question 20, which of the following graphs shows the effect of temperature on an enzyme-controlled reaction? We know in the early stages, as temperature increases, enzyme activity increases until we reach the optimum temperature, after which it decreases, which means the answer is D. Question 21. A 50-year-old male is advised by his doctor to pay special attention to the amount of salt in his diet. He probably has a high chance of developing high blood pressure, which is also known as hypertension. Salt is linked to high blood pressure. Which of the following options correctly matches the gaseous exchange structures with the organism? A human, the gaseous exchange is the alveoli or ear sac, so we're here. Fishes, it is the gill filament, and plants, it is their leaves, so we are looking at B. Item 23 refers to the following diagram of the respiratory system with structures labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which of the labeled structures represent a rib cage? So we are looking for bones, which makes 2. B, the answer. Question 24. Which of the following conditions is an effect of carbon monoxide found in cigarette smoke? Carbon monoxide irreversibly binds to red blood cells, which means there is a decrease in the oxygen carrying capacity. So C, reduce oxygen transport by the blood. Question 25. An amoeba obtains all the oxygen it needs by diffusion via its cell membrane, while a human needs to have a special respiratory surface for this purpose. The reason which best accounts for the difference is that the human's surface area to volume ratio is too small for the fusion to be effective. And that's very, very true. Question 26, the activities 1, 2, 3, and 4 listed below are involved in the clotting of blood. Which of the following correctly lists the sequence of activities? So you need to put these 4 activities in the correct order. Fibrinogen is converted to fibrin. 2, blood cells are trapped. 3, platelets are activated. 4, damage to blood vessel. So this whole process starts once there is damage, which gives us the answer as being D. Question 27. Why is it so difficult to develop a vaccine for the common cold? Because the antigens, the changes so frequently, so very often, which makes the answer B. 28. In the transport of solutes in the phloem, the source is defined as any area of the plant where sucrose is loaded into the phloem. What is the main storage product of plants? Plants use mainly starch as their storage. Which of the following substances is removed during egestion? Egestion is the removal of undigested food or that kind of waste. So D for question 30. Do remember to subscribe to the channel. You could also click that like button and click the notification bell so that you will be notified when we release videos like these paper ones. Question 31. Which of the following processes is not a form of excretion in plants? And we are looking at that not. And carbon dioxide diffusing in through the stoma is not. Which of the following changes in the concentration of substances is most likely to occur in the blood of persons who suffer from kidney disease? And that is an increase in urea in the blood. 32 is A. 33, which of the following correctly describes movement in plants? Plant movement is growth movement or just part movement. So we're looking for 1 and 2, which makes the answer for 33 B. 34, in humans, the skeletal system performs a variety of functions, including blood cell formation. Locomotion is important for animals for avoiding predators. Yes. For reproduction. Yes. For assimilation. No. So we're looking for 1 and 2, which makes 35 A. Question 36 refers to the following diagram with structures labeled 1, 2, and 3. We see 1 being a motor neuron, 3 being a relay neuron, 2 being a sensory neuron. And the numbered structures are, if we follow that, then 36 is C. 37, which of the following options best describe the terms stimulus and response? A stimulus is a detectable change in an organism's environment, and a response is how the organism reacts to the stimulus. Item 38 refers to the following diagram of a section of human skin with structures labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which structure is not involved in temperature regulation? And that would have to be 2, which makes the answer B. 39, which of 39, the function of the choroid layer of the eye is to prevent internal flexion. Item 40 refers to the following diagram, which shows nearsightedness in the eye. Which of the following shows how the defect can be corrected, and you want first to use your lens to widen or diverge the light so that it widens so that this point may fall further back, which is to fall on the retina. So you want to use a divergent lens and send the rays outwards. Makes 48. 41, the statements below describe the processes taking place within a seed during germination. We have these three processes. Which of the following sequence of events occurs during the germination of the seed? And the embryo uses food to develop the radicle and plumule. The radicle becomes the root and the plumule becomes the shoot. So that is the last step, which makes the answer D. Question 42 refers to the following unlabeled graph, which illustrates a measurement of growth in living organisms. Which of the following labels would be incorrect on the y-axis? The y-axis is this upright axis, this vertical axis, and it would be units of time. Question 43, the production of new organisms from one parent only is known as asexual reproduction. Item 44 refers to the following diagrams of flowers labeled 1 and 2 from two different types of plant. Which of the following statements is true for both flowers? And it would have to be a D. One is pollinated by the wind. We see the nice dangly and feathery stuff on flower 1. And 2 is pollinated by a hummingbird. Question 45. Which of the following forms of birth control is most likely 100% effective? That means we are talking about a surgical method. Tubal ligation is a surgical method for females. Item 46 refers to the following diagrams of specialized cells labeled 1 and 2. 1 is an ovum, 2 is a sperm. Which of the following structures is common in both cells? And that would be a nucleus, which makes it B. 47, which of the following shows the correct sequence for seed formation after fertilization? And we know for seed formation, you have to begin with an ovule and you end with a seed, which makes the answer A. 48, which of the following diseases matches its categories? Cholera, physiological, no, cholera is caused by a pathogen, Vibrio cholera. Pellagra, hereditary. Pellagra is a deficiency of a form of vitamin B. AIDS, pathogenic. Yes, AIDS is caused by a virus. Arteriosclerosis is physiological. It is not a deficiency. So it makes 48C. 49, an animal which transmits a disease-causing organism, but which is not adversely affected by it, is called a vector. Item 50 refers to the following diagram, which shows the life cycle of a vector with stages labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. The question asks, at which stage is this vector easily controlled by the use of aerosol insecticides? And that will be the adult mosquito, which is D. Question 51, which of the following description best defines a chromosome? And we would go with B, a structure made up of DNA wrapped around histones. Item 52 refers to the following diagram, which shows 4 stages of mitosis, labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. The correct order of the stages is, based on these pictures, 3 would be the starting, that would be the parent cell, then it will go to 2, 1, and 4 will be its end. So we are looking for 3, 2, 1, 4, and that would make 52 C. Item 53. On a certain Caribbean island where sugarcane is grown, a fungus is accidentally introduced into the island and destroys the entire crop of sugarcane. Which of the following statements best explains this occurrence? That's because there is no genetic variation among the plants. Which of the following statements about meiosis is not true? And that would be the number of chromosomes in gametes is doubled. That is actually the opposite of what really happens. So 54 is D. Question 55. In pea plants, purple flowers are dominant over white flowers. What percentage of the offspring are likely to have white flowers in their following crosses? So we are trying to work out the homozygous recessive when that shows up in the offspring. So we have a cross between homozygous dominant and homozygous recessive. That means in this cross, there would be always a dominant allele in every outcome. Hence, all the flowers will be purple. So 0 will be white, which automatically makes the answer A. One example of a sex-linked disease is color blindness. Variation in populations is due to mutation, yes. Crossing over, yes. Asexual reproduction, no. We're looking for 1 and 2. A is the answer for 57. On to 58, a species consists of members that interbreed under natural conditions to produce fertile offspring. That's a very comprehensive definition. 58 is D. On to the penultimate question. Which of the following descriptions is true about natural and artificial selection? Natural selection produces great biological diversity, while for artificial selection, it produces very different organisms from natural populations. Final question, which refers to the following diagram, which shows stages 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the production of insulin by genetic engineering. In which of the stages above can insulin be produced by the bacterium? That will only happen once it becomes recombinant bacterium, which makes it D. This brings us to the end of the May-June 2023 biology paper. Do let us know how you fared in this paper. Do put it in your comments, and we wish you the best in your remaining exams.